simple demo. Right here you can see our data over here. I come click add. Take note, our data gets added right here in real time. You can see we have our data right here. Okay, so guys, this is what we're gonna look at. Of course, Pioneer Writer Enterprise. Now if we can click a single item, you can see we get the item that we've clicked. Guys, this is a list view, is consisting of cards right here, and then of course this is our database. So this is what we're gonna look at. Okay, this is what we're going to look at. So join me, we'll get started. Our browser to console.firebase.google.com, then come over right here, create our project, Firebase project. Okay, I've already created mine. I'm going to use this list view multi items right here. You click it over right here, then come, then go to manage. Okay, once you've going to manage, what we're going to do is very simple. We're going to download our Google services with JSON. This is going to contain our configuration file, so please come right here, click it, then of course download it, save it to a machine. Okay, once you've done that one, take note, I've already proceeded to my site here. Let's move over to database. We need to go ahead and then set, let's come over right here, database. We need to go ahead and then set, of course, the rules right here. Okay, so for instance, right now you can see our database is empty. Come over to rules. What we want to do, we want to allow ourselves to be able to add data publicly without any authentication. So let's come right here, true. We set our read to true. We're also going to set the write to true. So with this one, we're able to add our data without really requiring an authentication. So please do that one. Then we come click publish. A non-variable, what have I written right here? Sorry, true. This is going to be true, of course. So we come publish. Okay, so this time round, rules publish. Guys, that's it. That's how what I call you to set up. Let's proceed on. Now guys, the next thing, let's move over to our Gradle scripts right here. Let's move, of course, go ahead and then create our project, file, new project, then create 100 project right here. Once you've done so, come over right here to our Gradle scripts. We're going to get started with the build.gradle at the project level. So I'll require you guys to make sure that you add this one in your class path. So come right here and then add this piece of code right here. Okay, take note, we're doing it right here. Then of course we're also going to move to our build.gradle at the app level. So the first thing, let's come and then apply that particular plugin and come right here at this particular code over right here. Then of course our list is going to consist of, okay, so the thing is this, our list views shall consist of card views. So let's make sure we add this one, and then of course we sync our project. Now let's come add this particular support library for the card view, of course, because we're going to be using also our list is going to consist of cards. Now once you've done that one, then make sure also that you add these particular two dependencies right here, Firebase core and then the Firebase database that you'll be using. Okay, so please make sure that you add these ones right here. Okay, then of course we sync our project. Those are what we're gonna use in our project, so click sync so that we sync our project. Now of course, meanwhile as we're doing that one, let's move over to our manifest. Then make sure we come over right here and then add the permission for connection to the internet. So let's come over right here and then add the permission for internet connection. Okay, so uses permission, then we're going to come over right here and then add our permission for internet. So guys, go ahead, make sure that you add this particular permission. Now once you've done that one, come to our project files. Remember the thing that we downloaded, the Google services, the JSON, the configuration file that we downloaded. Yes, come over right here, project files. If you can't see it, come click right here, you see project files, then come over right here, right click, then paste it. Okay, so once you pasted it, you can see right here it's simply our configuration file. So please come over right here, paste that particular configuration file so that we proceed on. Let's move over to our project. Now first let's come over to our layouts, of course, and this is going to generate plus these two, activity main and then the content main. Inside the activity content main, this is simply we're going to include, of course, our list view. Then this is our input dialog, the dialog that we're seeing right here with a couple of edit texts, and then of course a button at the bottom. Okay, so this is it. This is my input dialog. Then of course the model for each particular row in our list view. You can see this is our model right here. This row shall inflate to a single row in our list view. Once we've done that one, guys, let's move over to our project. I've created packages. To create a package, you right click, then you come, you choose a new package, new, then you choose a new package. Okay, you create a package, then of course created my classes inside packages. Guys, the first thing we're going to start with, the first class we're going to start with right here is our spacecraft class. This is our module class, of course. Okay, it's going to represent a single spacecraft. So let's come close others over right here. So this is going to come right here. You can see first we just specify the properties of this particular spacecraft, of course, name, propeller, description. Then we're going to have, of course, we have there an empty constructor, then of course get name right here. Okay, well, then there are getters and setters. You can see get name, set name. Guys, once we're through that one, we're going to move to our Firebase helper. Now inside the Firebase helper, we're going to need a couple of stuff right here. First, you're going to need a database reference. So let's come right here, have our database reference. I'm going to call it DB. I'm also going to have a boolean that I'm going to call saved, and then lastly I'm going to have an array list of spacecraft. Now this particular array list, this is where I'm going to store all the spacecrafts that we of course get from our server. So we just come and then of course instantiate it straight out. So guys, let's proceed on. As you can see right here, the first thing that we're doing, of course, for our constructor, we're simply passing in our database reference. So we can say this .db, then of course we assign it over right here. Now once we've done that one, the next thing we're going to define how to save our data. To save our data is very simple. You can say we have this particular save method. Now inside the save method, we're passing in a spacecraft object. The first thing we're going to do, of course, is to check right here if our spacecraft is null. Now if it's null, we're going to set ourselves to false. Otherwise we're going to continue and then try to persist our data. So for us to do this one, we're going to do it in a try catch block, then catch our database exception. Okay, so we define our child right here, which is our spacecraft, then we call the push method. Now this particular push method is going to ensure that we're going to be able to append our data to a list. Okay, so instead of replacing the initial value, we're simply going to append to it. So we're going to be able to save multiple spacecrafts, and then of course to set a value or to save our data to persist it, we call a set value right here. Now then we pass in, of course, the object that we want to save, in this case the spacecraft. Once we've done that one, we're going to set ourselves to true, and then of course if we're having an exception, then we're going to set it to false. At the end of the day, we come over right here and then return our saved, which is a boolean. So the next thing, once we've saved our data, of course we're going to define how we're going to retrieve that particular data. Now for retrieving is quite easy. What we're going to do right here, you can see we have this particular method we're calling fetch data. We're going to pass a data snapshot object to it. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to clear our array list, then we come inside our for loop right here. We loop through the children of our data snapshot. So data snapshot to get children, this is going to give us the child nodes. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, we instantiate a single spacecraft, we initialize it, and then we pass in, we call the get value method of our data snapshot. We pass in our spacecraft class, we add that particular spacecraft object to our spacecraft collection. So this is our fetch data, and then once we've done that one, of course, the next thing is to retrieve, actually to attach, call this one while the different events for our database, to hook to those particular events, and then call this our method right here. Okay, so for us, let's come and do that one. Let's make the method public. This method is going to return for us an array list. Okay, an array list of course of spacecrafts. Then the method itself, we're going to call it retrieve. So this is retrieve method right here. Of course, at the end of the day, we're going to be returning the spacecrafts array list right here. So for us, what we're going to do over here, we have our database reference. We're simply going to add child event listener, then equal to new a child event listener. So we do that one. This is going to generate for us several callbacks right here. As you can see, for instance, on child added, that is when a child node has been added, when child changed, when our data in a single child node has changed, child removed, when of course a child has been removed. So this is it. We're simply going to, now for instance in this case, if a child is added, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to simply call our fetch data, then of course we pass us data snapshot over right here. That's the same thing that we're going to do over over here. I thought we were supposed to, okay, this is data snapshot. So we come, we pass our data snapshot, fetch data. This is going to fill our array list. Of course, we refresh set of data once, and then also going to do the same thing when a child has changed. Okay, so this is how we're gonna retrieve our data. Now this is it. This is our Firebase helper class. Of course, its purpose, as you can see, retrieve our data for us, then fill. First of all, save data, retrieve, then of course fill our array list. Now take note the retrieve method we made it public, because we shall be calling it from our main activity. Firebase helper. The next thing, we're going to move to our custom adapter class. This particular class, of course, this is where we're going to bind our data. This is also where we shall be inflating our layout. Now for us, we're going to use the, remember this is a ListView, we're going to use a base adapter right here. Then we come override this particular method. Get item count. This is going to return for us the total number of spacecraft. So we come call our spacecraft that says, then get item. This is going to return for us a single spacecraft. So we're simply going to pass in an array list. Then we pass the position of that particular spacecraft in our get method. Okay, then get item ID, we're simply going to use the position as the ID. So right here, get view, this is where we shall be inflating our layout, and then we shall be returning it. So for us in this case, we're going to assign it to this convert view, which is actually a view object. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to create our constructor right here. So press Alt Insert. Then via the constructor, we shall be passing the spacecrafts, and then of course our array list right here, and then of course we assign them over here. So once we're through that one, let's come over right here to inflate our layout right here. Of course, we're going to use the layout inflator class. The first thing, layout inflation is quite an expensive process. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, we'll check if our view object right here is null. Now if it's null is when we're going to perform our inflation. To perform it, of course, we pass the context inside the from method, and we call the inflate method. We pass in our layout, the view group, and then this boolean is asking us if we shall be attaching this particular layout that we just inflated to this particular view group right here. We say false. Now once we have that one, of course, we come right here, reference our views, and then of course we get a single spacecraft. Take note, we're simply calling the get item and then passing in the position of our spacecraft to get a single spacecraft. Then you can see we come set name, set propellant, and then set description, and then over right here we come and handle our on-click listener for each particular view or each particular row inside our, of course, inside our list. So this is it. These are custom adapter class. Next, let's move to our main activity. Right here to our main activity, I've pre-typed my code over right here. So you can see what we're basically doing inside our main activity is very simple. First, we're going to initialize our database, our Firebase database, actually our database reference, and then next, of course, initialize our UI, and then handle our data input. So very simple stuff. The first thing, of course, we declare our database reference right here. Then of course our Firebase helper, our custom class that we created. We also have our adapter class that we created. Then of course we're working with the list view. Then to insert our data, well, we're going to need 3 edit text, name, propellant, and then the description. So inside our own create method, the first thing, of course, is to initialize our list view over right here. Then we come initialize our database reference. So take note, we're using the Firebase database. We simply call it get instance. Then we call the get reference. This is going to give us our database reference that, of course, is pointing us to where our database is, our Firebase database is. Then of course we associate our helper, our Firebase helper, passing in that particular reference that we just initialized. Next, of course, is our adapter. We set it to our list view. Then you can see right here we have this method we're calling display input dialog. This is where we're going to handle our inputs. Okay, so for us it's going to be simple. First we come right here, we associate a dialog object. We're going to pass in the context, which is this. Remember, we're inside our main activity. So we set the title of the dialog, which is, of course, in this case to save to Firebase. Then we set the layout. We're using the input dialog .xml, the one that we had created right here, that of course consists of this particular edit text. So once we have those ones, of course, we're going to reference this particular views right here, and then inside our save button. When our save button is clicked, we're going to come first, we're going to get from our edit text, we're going to get their values. Then we come, we instantiate a single spacecraft object, we set its properties, which is name, propeller, and then of course the description. Then we perform some basic validation. So we check if our name is not null, and then of course name the length. Okay, what if it's null, or if the user hasn't typed anything? Then in this case we're going to say, telling that name must not be empty. Otherwise we come and save. To save, we simply call our save method. We pass in our object, spacecraft object. Okay, remember this was supposed to return for us a boolean, so helper.save, we're going to return for us a boolean. In this case, if it's true, then yes, it's successfully saved. So we're going to clear this stuff, and then we reset our ListView to adapter. This is it. These are input. Now don't forget to call this show method to show a dialog. Okay, of course to implement it, we come over here, call the display input dialog. So this is it, guys. This is our main activity class. Now once we're through with this one, of course we're going to move to our manifest. Just make sure that you've added the permission for accessing internet. Okay, so come right here, add that particular permission, then we run our project, our data right here. Okay, so what we're going to do, of course, we come type our data. You can see right here we have in our database, of course, right here. Now if we come over here and then click save, right here you can see our data gets saved. You can see right here it also gets reflected right here, so everything is working perfectly. Okay, if we come over right here, click a single item, we're able to get the exact item that we just saved. So guys, this is it. I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. Please, if you have, hit the like button, share this video with friends and family, and do subscribe so that you never miss any of our tutorials. Remember, we do post our tutorials quite regularly. Take care and catch you in the next tutorial.